Alrighty, everybody, we're going to get started. We're going to jump straight into this because I'm all about trying to keep to the 45-minute to hour schedule that I promise you guys as best as possible. So to get started, I want to give you a little insight to my life and my relationship with sleep. For those that know that I have a 1-year-old at home, it's a little iffy at times. But really, my eye-opener moment happened about 3 weeks ago. We've had a heck of a year with our daughter. She's had some stuff going on, that uncontrollable things that have really messed with our ability to get functional, restorative sleep. But I've always been that person where I can't sleep unless I'm horizontal. I never fell asleep in bed reading a book, watching TV on the couch, sleeping on an airplane. Forget it. I could never do that. I had to be horizontal. And about 3 weeks ago, middle of the day, my husband and I were at home at the same time. Mia was napping. And so we're like, oh, hey, let's play a video game. Let's do something, for ourselves and hang out. And we're sitting there playing, and all of a sudden, I'm sitting up. I start nodding off to sleep. And I do the jerk awake, and I look at my husband, I'm like, crap, I'm getting old. I'm falling asleep on the couch, sitting up. But no, in reality, I'm not getting old. I have unfortunately become a statistic, but I'm only 31 years old. And again, a lot of these things that have led to me falling asleep in the middle of the day while playing a video game have been out of my control. So with this study, it showed that 50 to 70%, or 50 to 70 million Americans have been diagnosed with a sleep disorder. 1 in 3 adults they're not getting enough sleep throughout the night or throughout their day-to-day sleep, and then 40% fall asleep accidentally in the middle of the day. So that's where I fell in. And it's crazy because the nodding off in the middle of the day or waking up feeling tired or things like that, they aren't the only signs that your body's trying to tell you something's wrong, I'm not getting enough sleep, we need to do something. All of these things are things that are ways that your body's trying to yell at you and say, hey, something's not right, we need more sleep, and this is just how it knows how to do it. And so the crazy part is it's not just about the amount of sleep that you're getting, but it's also about the quality that you're getting and the distribution of the different stages of your sleep cycle. Who knows what the sleep cycle is? Nobody? Yay, I get to teach you guys something new. That's exciting. Okay, so this is the sleep cycle. So you go through this cycle multiple times throughout the night. It's about 90 minutes total for all 4 stages. This first stage, N1, this is the falling to sleep stage. This is that stage where if you're on the couch and you jerk awake because you think you're falling, and then, or if, who remembers smacking their dad because they fell asleep watching football, like my dad this last weekend, and he was sitting there snoring, and I smack him, I'm like, hey, you're falling asleep. He's like, no, I'm not. It's weird. During this stage, you consciously don't actually realize that you're asleep. Brain does weird things. And so 1 to 7 minutes is that falling to sleep stage, that N1. And then you're going to move into N2, and this is going to be your light sleep. So you're going to spend about 10 to 25 minutes here. This is where everything just starts to slow down. We're getting ready for a deep sleep, so heart rate goes down, respiratory rate slows down, just everything starts to calm down. And then we move into N3, which is our deep sleep. And this is the beginning of the restorative process that takes place while we're sleeping. You're going to spend about 20 to 40 minutes in this deep sleep phase, and then you're going to move into REM, which for the first cycle of the night, it's actually pretty short. It only lasts a couple minutes, and REM stands for rapid eye movement. This is where dreams occur, okay? But as you get further into the night and get further into the cycles, that REM phase gets longer and longer, and these other phases get shorter and shorter. So the reason that you're remembering those dreams and everything is because it's right before you kind of cycle back into that I'm a little bit more awake phase. Okay. During your deep sleep phase, this is where cellular repair and reproduction happens. So again, this is where that restorative sleep finally actually starts happening. It's like halfway into your sleep cycle. So if you're getting interrupted and woken up or uncomfortable in bed or whatever that's disrupting your sleep and not allowing you to get here, you're missing out on the most important part of your sleep, right? And then during that REM phase, that's where it's for the brain. So deep sleep's for the body, REM is for the brain. You're going to have memory formation here, brain health, detoxification of your brain, like physically, literally dumping out biotoxins and bacteria, whatever is gathering in your brain. The detox of that happens during the second half of your sleep cycle. So again, you can see how extremely important that second half of the cycle is. And if you're not getting there, you're not getting that restorative sleep. Does that make sense to everybody? Yep. Okay. And so think about what happens if sleep takes a back burner, even for like a day or two. What generally tends to follow a couple days later after a few days of not sleeping well? Yeah. Yeah, you crash, you burn, your immune system goes down. How many people have been burning the candle at both ends? A couple days later, they get sick. That hasn't happened to any of you? You're all liars. Okay, there we go. It's like liars. It would happen to me after every single finals week while I was in school, because I was just like hitting hard trying to get ready for my finals, have super high cortisol levels, super high all of my stress hormones, and then I'd finish, everything would crash, and I would get sick. So then think about, that's the short term. That's after only a couple days of missing sleep. Think about what's going to happen in the long term. The long-term consequences of your immune system not doing its job and your body missing out on that restorative process. That's where we start to see the big five here that like everything's linked to these, right? But sleep is a big one, because again, if you're not restoring, repairing those the muscle fibers after a workout, you're not detoxing the body, then it's just going to lead to your body not functioning the way it's supposed to. Any questions so far? Nope. Okay. So now that we know how important sleep is, which I think you guys probably already knew, what causes sleep issues? Any guesses? Any? Stress. There you go. You guys listen to me. I'm so proud of you. Stress. That's what it comes down to. It's the most common factor. It's one of the biggest things that we can't necessarily control, but it also comes down to things like lifestyle and poor diet and some medications. There's a lot of factors that are going to lead to sleep issues, but yes, stress is the big one in all different forms. Remember, we have stress in three forms. We have physical stressors, chemical stressors, and emotional stressors. So say stressors 5 times fast with a dry mouth. Yes. So remember, poor sleep isn't the problem. Your sleep is not the issue. It's the way that your body is telling you that there's other issues going on, that there's other stressors happening, and that sleep is just saying, hey, something's impeding me from getting into the phase that I need to be in order to get to that second half of the sleep cycle. And so for many people, poor sleep equals an overactive sympathetic nervous system. So the majority of you have been to my workshops a lot. We'll see who's listened to me in the clinic. You have your 2 halves of your autonomic nervous system, okay? So the first half is going to be your gas pedal, which is fight or flight, and your second half is going to be your brake pedal, the rest, digest, relax. In order to understand this, you need to understand those two things. I will preach to you guys day and night till I'm blue in the face. Autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic, fight, flight, rest, digest, gas pedal, brake pedal. It's so stinking important. It literally, like everything in your body, all the functionality comes down to these two things. And these nervous systems, what they control is everything that you don't have to think about. So, what are things that happen inside of our body that we don't have to think about? That just happen.
Heart rate, digestion.
Heart rate, breathing. Anything else? What's that?
Swallowing.
Well, I physically think about swallowing. But no, I see what you mean. But yeah, all of those things, pupil dilation, pupil constriction. Think about when you're getting ready to do a workout or a hike or a deer pops out in front of you while you're driving. Think about all the things that happen. Heart rate goes up, respiratory rate goes up. So that is all your sympathetic nervous system taking control of your body and saying, we got to get ready to either fight or flight. The other side of that is going to be rest and digest. We don't have to think about digesting our food. How much would that suck if we have to sit here and think, okay, digest my broccoli and my steak and nourishment, go where I need you to go. No, it just happens on its own. Now, the trick with this is that these two things, it can't happen at the same time, okay? You can't have your foot and your gas down at the same time. I know some of you may have tried. You're not supposed to. It's bad. It's bad for your engine. It's bad for everything, right? And so what should happen is you should ebb and flow between these two things throughout the day, just depending on what's going on. But the problem is, again, that overactive nervous system, sympathetic nervous system, is taking over because we're constantly getting bombarded by stressors. And so, there's that page. That's the one I needed. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some simple things that you guys can start tonight, because it's really as simple as just getting rid of all your stress, right? Like, it's gone. It doesn't exist. And it's kind of ironic that I'm teaching this workshop tonight because, again, my child, being the child that she is, decided to start cutting 3 molars last night. So I got 4 hours of sleep. So you guys are witnessing my fight or flight in full-fledged right now. Also, you guys are super scary and make me nervous. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're going to go through some simple things that you guys can start tonight to go a long way as far as improving your sleep, not just the quantity, but the quality as well. And so they're super simple things. Dr. Will is going to make his debut. Woohoo! And he's going to start us out with some lifestyle things that you guys can be doing.
All right. Step 1, move your body and eat right. That's fairly self-explanatory, but we'll break it down a bit more. So, when I get tired at night, I like to have a snack. And I know I'm tired if I'm snacky, because what I'm trying to do is get energy into my body, right? And the simple, easy snacks are all those things that have your refined carbohydrates, something sugary, gives you that quick energy boost. The problem is, what that does is that then gives you energy and then wakes you up. So then when you try to go to sleep, you're like, oh, I'm awake now. I have energy. I don't know why I have energy. And then you don't sleep. So if you're up late and you've got to do some work or something, some good types of snacks to eat are ones that have melatonin-producing foods. Melatonin is naturally produced in the body, so you can have quality proteins, yogurt, things, avocados are actually really good. Grass-fed whey protein, all those are great options that kind of give you energy, but they're not going to ramp you up and stir up your cortisol levels and get those elevated. Next one, limit caffeine. So I'm not a caffeine user, so this was interesting for me to learn about. Yes, I'm naturally this perky. Caffeine will last in your body for up to 12 hours. So if you're having that cup of coffee at, say, noon, well, then that could last all the way through to midnight. And that can start to affect your ability to sleep. So, sorry, I snapped my fingers. It resets my train of thought. So caffeine is super important. You want to limit when you have it. You want to make sure that you're in control of it. And some of us use caffeine to perk up and start our day, and that's okay. But you want to make sure you're not using it in excessive amounts. Because if you start to rely on caffeine to get you through the day, to give you that pickup, to give you that energy, what happens is you have your adrenal glands. Those are your those are our two glands. They sit above your kidneys, and they help produce cortisol. So then you start stressing those out. So then your body's not naturally producing what it needs to, and then you start to have floundering issues where the body's not producing what it needs to, and it relies on an external source. And in that case, then you put more strain on your body, and it starts just a vicious negative cycle where you're not able to kind of relax when you need to. Limit alcohol. So alcohol, you're like, what does that have to do with anything, right? So alcohol actually will get into your system, and it's converted then into sugar, believe it or not, within a few hours. So that sugar then becomes energy. When you get that energy, again, it's just like having a sugary treat right before bed. It's just going to kick in middle of the night. You'll wake up and you'll be, why do I have energy? That alcohol is getting synthesized in your body into energy, and then it's produced, and then it disrupts your sleep. So you want to make sure that you're not having anything a couple hours before bed at the least. Let it have a chance to work through your system so it doesn't interrupt. Workout in the morning. So I'll confess, I am not a big workout person, right? I don't know how many of you are shocked to hear that, but that's okay. So exercise is really important, though. Who here likes to work in their yard? Quick show of hands, right? When you do a nice yard work day, do you feel a little more tired, ready to go to sleep? That's like doing a workout, essentially. You're burning up your energy. You're creating... I'm drawing a blank on what I want to say. But it's like getting a workout in where you're producing hormones within your body that then help you want to get into that good sleep pattern. So getting exercise in at any point in the day is very beneficial for you because it'll help that system realize, okay, I'm using up my energy. It's time to go in relax mode and then rest. And about 150 minutes a week, I divided that by 7. That's 21.4 minutes a day. So, that's like shoveling your driveway. It's wintertime. Depending on the amount of snowfall, that's a good moderate workout. But doing a good workout, that's a walk around the block. That is doing some exercise stretching, doing a yoga program that we have on the YouTube channel, all that. You can do that, get yourself warmed up for the day, and you're getting your exercise in at a moderate level. Sunshine. So sunshine is super important. Who here has heard of the circadian rhythm within the body? Right? Lots of you. So your circadian rhythm is your natural kind of day-night ebb and flow within your body. And believe it or not, sunshine helps with that. So when we wake up, we see that sunrise. That helps our circadian rhythm realize, oh, time to get up, time to get going. Same thing with catching that sunset at night. That helps to offset your circadian rhythm. It tells the body, sun's going down, it's getting dark. It's time for my body to start winding down, going into that rest mode for the evening. So getting sunshine at the beginning and the end of the day, super important. Also, vitamin D is produced by absorbing sunlight. In the wintertime, we're not going to go out in shorts and t-shirts unless you're my 12-year-old son. That's all he wears. And I've tried, but he won't wear anything else. So you're not getting that same amount of sunlight. So a lot of people get light sensitive, they'll put on sunglasses. So if you're out walking around, take off those sunglasses, let your eyes get that sunlight in, get that vitamin D going. That has good help with what we're going to go with the sleep protocol we're going to go over in a second. the Max Living Advanced Plan. So in your Align for Health book, that's chapter 4, to have a quick read on that. And then you can also go to Appendix B, which gives some good recipes in there as well. This is not a full long-term diet plan to have. This is kind of a short-term reset the body, detoxify the body. But what it does is it, sorry, I'm going to check my cheat sheet here to make sure I've got it right. So it's detox. It gives you short-term management of weight, helps with disease. So basically, it's great. It's going to talk in there in detail about how to have healthy grains, how to get your healthy proteins in. Protein is great. It's good, but you want to make sure you're getting the right type of protein. The right cuts of meat. It talks about fish, getting good quality fish. That's a really healthy protein. It has your omegas in there, has vitamin D naturally. It allows you to get a lot of stuff in a very short time frame. So this is actually a really good plan to help jumpstart and kind of do the reset and help you get going. So this is our sleep and slumber protocol. So I am going to share my story. When I started working at Freedom Chiropractic, I would get about 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night. I'd be awake for 2 to maybe 3, and then I'd try and doze for another hour or 2 if I could. So all in all, I got great quality sleep, right? When we started this, Dr. Jason was like, hey, let's guinea pig on ourselves because that's the safest way to try. So I started it with the glycine powder, mag citrate, and the inositol. I was taking 2 inositol pills a day, and then I actually got to a point where I was needing to nap on the weekends because I was so tired throughout the day. So I actually cut back to 1 pill because that works best for me. But now I get a solid 6 to 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night, which is a lot for me. And my wife is happy because then I'm not tossing and turning in the bed and waking her up, because then she sleeps better, and my wife is happier when she sleeps better. Whoops. I'm going to go over each one. So your mag citrate, we're going to start with this one. That's basically a powder version of magnesium. Magnesium is a great element that we have. It's into our body. It helps with cell function. It helps with detox. You're going to notice a lot of these have to work with detoxification. Again, as Dr. Megan was saying with her portion, when the body gets into that sleep cycle, you have a chance to detox your body. So it allows you to start kicking out all the stuff that you don't need. And actually, because of just modern farming techniques, we're getting less and less magnesium naturally into our diet. Demineralization of water as well has kind of taken that out a little bit. So this is a great way to kind of boost that back into your system. It helps to promote bone health as well, detoxification, and then sleep. There's more. It's got a lot of great things to it. Glycine powder, as you can read here, if you're close, it's a free-form amino acid. So amino acids are the building blocks of every cell. So your glycine then gets produced, or not produced as you have that. Glycine gets eventually synthesized into glutathione, which helps with detoxification. It helps with rest. It helps with actually mental health. There's a lot of these, and it's funny, you think, well, mental health, but a lot of people who have mental health issues do have sleeping issues. And I'm not going to do a dissertation on mental health by any means. I'm not an expert. So that's the purpose of the glycine powder. Your inositol is actually, it's called myo-inositol. It is naturally occurring in fruits, nuts, berries, seeds. Some of the most common forms are soy lecithin, which is great because they use that in chocolate a lot. So I don't know if some people like that. Also in sunflower lecithin. So that's a great way to naturally get it. But again, that's not readily available in your diet. So that's the one I was taking 2 of, and it started to knock me out. So I cut back to 1. It's going to be different for everybody. Dr. Jason takes 3 inositol, and that works for him. So like I said, everyone's different. But but he sleeps really well, and that's why he's so perky at work, right? So inositol as well, it helps with detoxification. It helps with vitamin D absorption. Again, that sunlight produces vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for nerve health, nerve function. Inositol helps with the absorption of that vitamin D, so then you get good nerve health, good nerve function. Again, so you see everything's flowing together. It's been proven to help with mood stabilization. So lots of different things that inositol can do. It's actually really underrated as a powerful thing. But that is our sleep protocol. So what we do, bedtime. Actually, I do this about an hour before I go to bed to let it set in. I take my scoop of glycine, scoop of mag citrate, I stir it up in a cup, and then I drink it back with my inositol. And usually, even if I'm not feeling tired, within about an hour, that's why I give myself that time, I start feeling a little drowsy and ready to go to bed, ready to get some sleep in. So there you go. That's very effective. I can attest to it. That's why I'm so perky all the time. All right. Dr. Megan's back now.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Will. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I took my little power nap over there, so I'm ready to go for you guys. Okay, so step 2. And for me, personally, when I made my realization 3 weeks ago, falling asleep on the couch, mastering my bedtime routine made a huge difference for me. Just a couple simple changes. I don't know why. For me, this was the biggest thing. So first things first is set the mood. Like, we're going to sleep. Get the body ready. Start dimming the lights around the house. Turn off the distractions, phones, TVs. Keep it quiet. Slow down. Read a book. Like, make a little routine. Do some yoga. I constantly tell people, make a little 5 to 10 minute stretch routine before bed. Just think calm, relaxing things. Now, someone's going to ask me about Kindles. Who was going to ask me? Somebody. Oh, he just outed you. Okay, so we're going to get to Kindles and screens. There we go. Screens here in a minute. But long story short, at night, don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. And all of these things, if not most of these things, should be on that sleep protocol that we handed out to you guys. So you can have that little list to take home and have a little routine set for you, basically. So the next one is to relax with a bath or a shower. This one, you just gotta be a little careful with. You don't want to heat your body up too hot right before bed. So if you're going to do this, you want to plan it out to be about 2 hours prior to bedtime, because then that's going to give your body ample time to cool down naturally, which then gets the body ready for sleep. So you just have to time this one out a little bit, but make a little evening out of it. Put some lavender, some bath salts in there, like have a glass of, no, don't have a glass of wine. Just kidding. We just learned about that. Don't do that. Have a glass of sparkling water with some mag citrate and glycine in it. Don't fall asleep in the bathtub, please. Don't do that. But you guys know what I mean. Like chill, calming, relaxing. Take deep breaths of the water, or not the water. Whoa, guys, I'm losing it. Of the steam and things like that, and just make it a little spa day out of it. But again, try to keep this one 2 hours prior to bedtime, so you have ample time to cool off. That's the one little caveat. So, okay, put down the phone. How many people look like this at night? Raise your hand. Don't lie to me. Okay. We got. Oh, there you go. She's like, this is me. Yeah. So you guys know this. The problem with screens is they produce light, specifically blue light, which then tells our body to not make melatonin, which is our sleepy time hormone. It all goes back to the circadian rhythm and that sleep-wake cycle. If you're doing something right here that's telling your body, I should be awake, it's not going to help. So put the phone down, put the laptops down. That's the other thing to consider. I've done this before. Who works from home or does some work from home? Okay, Who's grabbed their laptop, kicked themselves up in bed, and are sitting there in their bed, all cozy, snoozy with their laptop, typing and doing work? Kirsten? Yeah. So, everybody, you're going to say this with me. What wires together, fires together. Ready? What wires together, fires together. So by doing that, Kirsten, you are creating brain connections where your brain's like, oh, hey, my bed is a place that I'm going to get some work done. No, bed is for sleeping. That's it. No more working in bed. There you go. Or anyone else. Yes.
What if you have a pair of those glasses?
The blue light?
Yeah, that emits or stops the blue light.
I'd have to do some research on it. I think they help, but I don't think they completely shut off everything. So back to the e-readers, the Kindles, because I have a Kindle and I love reading in bed. It's part of my new nightly routine, but my Kindle is one of the ones that you can turn off the backlight. So rule of thumb is if you can have your lights completely off and read your Kindle, don't do it. Don't have that on. You can have your lights dimmed and that backlight off on some Kindles. That's fine because you're not getting that light. Or just crack a traditional book. They're still out there. We got libraries and stuff full of them. So does that make sense? Yeah. So leave the Kindle with the light on for daytime. That's completely fine, but limit it in bed. So, any questions here? Any other? Yes.
What about audiobooks?
That's fine because you're not staring at a screen.
Because I like to listen to an audiobook before I go to bed, but I don't. It's closed.
Mm-hmm.
I have a cover and I keep it closed.
Yeah. If you're listening with your eyes closed or whatever, that's.
That helps me fall asleep.
Yeah, as long as it's not some thriller mystery book with axe murders and whatnot. It's get the heart rate up. I know, exactly. Oh, who's the killer? No. Yeah, and it'd be the same thing as listening to, I think the app's called Calm. It's a guided meditation that a lot of people use to go to sleep at night. They just plug their headphones in and listen. So if that helps, great. As long as you're not getting blasted in the face with light. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, this one, so simple. I was terrible at this, and now I do better. Making your bed, crazy. There's a study that shows you are 19% more likely to get better sleep every night if you are getting into a made bed. So if you're like me and you're terrible at making your bed, I have a 1-year-old, I just kind of throw myself out of bed and go get her, and then my husband's sleeping and he doesn't make it either. So no, we're much better about making the bed. So, but yeah, very simple thing that you can make part of your morning routine so that you have a nice, clean, made bed to go to bed to. And it's just a good feeling, snuggling all up in there. So, make your bed. Okay, so then the consistent timing. So going back to the circadian rhythm that Dr. Will was talking about, this is a big one. This is the hardest one, especially this piece of it right here. The weekend part, make your schedule of I get up at this time, I go to bed at this time, and just that's it every single day, including the weekends, as best as humanly possible, sticking to that schedule. What that's gonna do is it's gonna help regulate that sleep-wake cycle, which then in turn regulates your hormones, and we all know how much dysfunctional hormones screw with us. Yes.
Do you have any tips for how to handle loss of sleep when our clocks switch over twice a year?
No.
It just is killing
I know.
You get on that regimented system and then it's
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Basically making that switch as soon as possible, leaving your hours the same, your body will catch up because it is only an hour difference at the end of the day. Actually, at 2 a.m. it's an hour difference, but.
Input on that, I agree 100%. It's horrible. So we start a couple of days early, except when you go to church and you show up an hour late, it doesn't work. So embarrassing.
Yeah.
But just start early, and that way you start programming yourself.
Yeah, and you can start slowly, incremental, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour, like that's a good idea. So there you go. But yeah, keeping that regimen as best you can to help regulate your hormones. That's a big one right there. Okay. Any questions there? Nope. Great. Okay. And then step 3, removing the interference. So stress, nervous system, all of it, how stress impacts the brain. So we've already kind of talked about this with the fight or flight, rest, digest. So any form of stress, whether it's good stress, bad stress, it's going to push us into that fight or flight mode. And when that happens, we release hormones called cortisol and adrenaline. You guys have heard of these, which super great. They're great in really short spurts. They help you focus. They help you be alert. They get you through tough, scary times. The problem is long-term exposure to these hormones are going to cause dysfunction with your brain, as you guys have witnessed multiple times tonight with my brain going blank. But it's gonna impede your memory. It's going to impede your ability to get into the REM cycle, the REM part of the cycle, which is, as you guys saw, extremely important for your brain. Part of the cycle. Yeah, there we go. I need more sleep, guys. So yeah, it's just eliminating that stress as much as you can, and you have to be able to focus on peace management. That's really what it comes down to, because we can't control everything, right? As much as I would love to be able to eliminate all stress in my life, in your life, we know that's downright impossible. And so finding what works for you to manage your peace and be able to manage that in times of stress is going to go a long way as far as your mental health and controlling that stress response when you're trying to go to sleep. Because all of us have had nights where we're just sitting there and our brain's just going, just thinking about something at work, something with family, friends, who knows what. And so finding ways to be able to mentally unplug from those stressors and finding your peace is going to go a long way. So focus on things like meditation, reading for some people, reading books that fill you up, listening to music or podcasts or whatever it is, whatever helps you center yourself. And that's going to be different for everyone. Journaling is another one. Whatever it takes just to find your peace, okay? Okay, this one, I also knew someone was going to ask me questions about, and so I have your answers for you. Best sleep position, and it's not up here, but what pillow should I use? I get asked those 2 questions 3 times a week, and I'm only in the office 3 times a week. So the best sleep position is on your back, flat on your back with your head touching the bed, so no pillow. You can use your rolls. That's what they were made for, to sleep on. I personally can't sleep on them, so lay on for 20 minutes, throw them to the side. The next best position is going to be on your side with a pillow to support your head in a neutral posture. You don't want your head flopping down too far. You don't want it flopping up too far if you're laying on this side. And the other thing, if you're going to be a side sleeper, is try not to go into fetal position as best you can. So pillows are my best friend to keep me from fetaling positioning. So those are the best positions to be in. The second best position is whatever helps you sleep. Yeah, at the end of the day, I would rather you be comfortable and sleeping through your cycles instead of sitting there worrying and being like, oh crap, I'm on my stomach, or I'm in fetal position, I gotta get out, and then you wake yourself up and you have to start all over again. Because I've done that before. It was a losing battle of trying to get off my stomach while sleeping. I have learned to accept it. I've done a couple things to help protect my low back, like kicking, if this person looks like he's on his stomach. I couldn't tell. Is he on his stomach or on his back?
He's on his stomach.
Okay. I was looking at it and it looks super weird to me, and yeah.
That's the hood. Think of hood.
Oh, that's a hood. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was. I was like, is he wearing a bib to sleep? No, I don't know.
It's an animal pajamas.
It's a onesie. Okay, that makes sense. So yes, if this were me, kicking this leg out is going to help push me onto my side a little bit more, so I'm not just like fully on my back, like cranking my low back or doing weird things to my neck. Does that make sense? So again, whatever helps you sleep. I don't care. Just sleep. So, okay, and then pillows. No, I do not have a recommendation for a pillow for you. I get asked that one a lot too because people think there's a perfect pillow out there. There's not. It's different for everybody, which is why I don't have a recommendation. I've had people be like, My Pillow, like the brand My Pillow, is just the absolute best thing in the whole world, and I can't sleep without it. I take it on my trips. And then I've had people that want to burn it. So it's different. So if a $150 pillow is your jam, great, go for it. For me personally, I go for like the $40 to $60 pillow range, knowing that I'm just going to replace it in like 6 months anyway, and they just get shifted to the guest bedroom because we never have guests, and then I don't know what happens to those pillows. They just magically disappear, and I get a new pillow. So, yeah, that's how I go about it. So.
What about if a side sleeper, is it recommended to use a pillow between your knees if you're side sleeping?
Yeah, that's great because that helps keeps your hips a little more in line instead of, and it's going to keep you from like full on fetal positioning. So,
And what about if you sleep on your back, putting a pillow on your knees?
like so that there's just slightly bent. Yeah, that's good too. That helps take pressure off the low back. So again, for some people, that's super comfortable. For others, so. Like I don't like having my legs bent personally, so I also don't like sleeping on my back, so it doesn't matter. So, any other questions about that?
This is kind of a different one. What about drinking sleepy time tea?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do you do that with the protocol?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know why you wouldn't. Yeah, I would. Yeah. No other questions. Okay, cool. All right. So the big one, physical stressors on your nervous system, subluxations. So for those that have been in our clinic, I'm calling you guys out finally on this one. Kirsten knows where I'm going with this. For those that have been in our clinic for a long time, you get this little piece of paper that we have you fill out at your review, and there's a question on there that asks something about how does subluxation, or what does subluxation do to your body? Yeah, that. I would say a good, 60% of you say it helps me. It does great things for my body. I'm sorry, I'm calling you out. If you guys have ever said that, you're going to learn today, and you're never going to get this question wrong ever again. So, subluxation is just a fancy term for meaning things are stuck, things aren't moving, they aren't functioning the way that they should be. This is bad. This is not good, okay? And so what happens when we have subluxation in our spine, in our joints, in the muscle, like if things are stuck, not moving, it's putting physical pressure on that nervous system because all of a sudden a part of us is not functioning the way it's supposed to, and our brains are super duper smart and really connected with our body and know when things are wrong, and so it tells you that things are wrong by going into protection mode and giving you symptoms like aches and pains and inflammation, and just depending on where you're at, like digestive issues or high blood pressure or sleep issues. Weird, right? And so what this is going to be doing on the brain specifically goes back to those stress hormones, because subluxation, bad, stress, fight or flight, stress hormones, we're not sleeping. Make sense? So this is why you need to get your butts adjusted. Or your backs, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. I think that's the biggest thing that you guys can be doing is sticking to your schedule. Whatever your schedule is, it's what's working for your body. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, hey, I got adjusted, especially people who've gotten adjusted for like the first time. We hear this all the time. I'd get adjusted, and then I call them, see how they're doing, and then they're like, I slept like 8 hours last night for the first time in months. And that's because when we're adjusting you, when we're physically pushing on your spine, what we're actually doing is manipulating that nervous tissue underneath the spine, so that spinal cord, and we're telling your body to pump the brakes. And so parasympathetic, rest, digest, heal. And so that system is kicking up, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going to sleep because my stress is finally like, these physical stressors are finally not impeding me anymore. And so getting adjusted is the biggest thing, like sticking to your guys' schedules as best as humanly possible. I know we have the holidays coming up, and that is a stressor all on its own, and it throws everyone out of whack, but doing everything you can, moving your appointment dates as needed. We are open 4 days next week. We're closed Friday, but we moved our Friday hours. This is next week, right? Yeah, we moved our Friday hours to Thursday morning, if you guys haven't seen that. So we'll be open from 7:30 to 10:30 Thursday morning, as well as that 3 to 6 hours, but closed Friday. So we're trying to keep that available for you guys as best as possible. So make sure that you're sticking to your schedule as best as possible. And then the other thing is, warnings. Wow. What is this? Oh, we already talked about this. All of those warning signs. Yeah, the sleep. Sorry, I just talked faster than my slides were going, apparently. Yep, schedule your adjustment. We talked about that. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and you guys should know this because it's plastered all over our freaking office, is we're doing our gift of health, okay? This is a win, 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 okay? So first win is anybody, friends, family that you guys want to refer into the office can come in for $49 to get their adjustment, their x-rays, their consultation, and then their follow-up consultation. There we go. Their exam, all of it for $49, normally $139. So saving some money there. So that's the first win. Next win is for every person that you guys refer, you get entered into a raffle for one of 3 gift cards. So there's another win. Win number 3 is all proceeds are going to Food to Power. So we're helping our community. And win number 4 is for anyone who decides to start care, they get a $150 credit towards their plan. So win, 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 win. So anyone that you want to give the gift of health to, talk to Kirsten and Savannah. They'll write some names down and tell you how all of that works. And then I have a 30-day challenge for you. I promise if you guys do this, take a picture of this, everybody, right now. And then we're going to take an oath. I won't make you do a blood oath. We'll just spit and shake. Oh, sorry, get out of your way. Yeah, we'll just do the spit and shake. There you go. Ew, can you imagine if I did a spit shake with every single one of you guys? Okay. This is what I have done in the last 3 weeks to try and improve my sleep, and it has helped so much. Have I been absolutely perfect? No. Are you going to be absolutely perfect? No. But if you try and make a routine out of this, it's going to do huge things for you. I can almost promise, because I know there's going to be that one person that's going to mess up my promise. So, okay? So this is just reiterating everything that we've talked about today. So unplugging, blacking out your room so that you're not getting the light from like cars and street lights, stuff like that. Sticking to that sleep schedule. Lowering that temperature in the room. We sleep better when it's cooler. And then making your bed every morning, eliminate the caffeine, the no sugar or alcohol 2 hours before bed, getting your exercise every single day. It can be as simple as yoga or a walk around the block. I don't care what it is, 10 minutes. Walk up and down your stairs for 10 minutes. sleep protocol that Dr. Will talked about. And the biggest one, most important one, stick to your schedule as best you guys can, okay? Any final questions? No? All right. We made it. Look at that. I did it.